Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode number 116 in the book of Gospel of John. Today, what pleases God? We're going to head towards abiding, and you'll see how we get there. This is from John chapter 15, fantastic and famous verse. I am the vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away. And every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes. We talked about that yesterday, that it may bear more fruit. Already you are clean because of the word that I have spoken to you. Abide in me and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. All right, the first point I want to address is you are already clean. It's the same concept that Jesus did at the Last Supper when he was washing the feet. He's still at the Last Supper time frame. And Jesus said, the one who is bathed does not need to wash except for his feet, but is completely clean. Peter says, hey, wash all of me. And Jesus says, no, just your feet. The idea is that the disciples live under the effective grace of the sufficient, permanent, superior, once for all, one-time substitutional sacrifice of Jesus' death and resurrection. So in this passage, 15:3, he says, already you are clean because of the word that I have spoken to you. So he authoritatively is going to deal with sin on behalf of his believers. And Christians need to kind of keep the car clean, but they don't need to reinvent the wheel. So by that, I mean, they need to be engaged in daily cleansing and confession of sins. Even the Lord's Prayer talks about it. Forgive us our trespasses. Lead us not into temptation. So Christians don't need to receive Christ again and again and again. They don't need to be baptized every Tuesday, but they do need to remember Christ and remember where they have failed on a daily basis. And that's where we get involved in repentance and the tune-ups, if you will, of Christianity. It's kind of like being married, is you don't need to continuously remarry the same girl, but you do need to continuously do the behaviors of being married, keeping watch, repenting, restoring, caring for the relationship, defending the perimeter, emptying the dishwasher, taking her out to dinner, being quick to say you're sorry, being slow to speak. And Jesus is saying is, hey, you are already in a permanent attached relationship with me. You're already grafted in. You've already had regeneration, already had being born again, which is a one-time event. But let's not continuously revisit this. All right, the aspect that I do wish to revisit now this morning is abiding and its production, which is eventually is fruit bearing. So abiding is the frequent, daily, with effort, humility to listen, submission to the obedience of, cooperating with the abiding, and cooperating with the pruning. It's to agree with the principles of the vine here in chapter 15 of John. Verse 4 says, abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself, unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. So abiding is important. Abiding isn't the activities of, let's say, getting married, back to our analogy. It's the activities of being married. Abiding is important because bearing fruit is going to be ultimately the ultimate point. So I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. So yesterday we talked about the Lord being pleased with the person who is pleased with being pruned. Today, the Lord is being pleased. The Lord is pleased with the person who is pleased to abide in him, with the person who remains in him, resides in him, continues to live and stay. And abiding to the point of fruitfulness is that ongoing, continuous, marked by effort and activity of relation building. So, for example, back to our picture of marriage, if you hear of let's say my marriage, you'd be surprised if you heard that we were getting married and having a ceremony over and over. But what you should not be surprised at to hear is what we might be doing a weekend away, or that we might be reading the same book and discussing it, or that we might be bending our ministries to be aligned together. You shouldn't be surprised at the efforts of the enterprise of marriage. Similarly, don't be surprised by the efforts of abiding, the works of staying with God, the habitual good practices of relation building. So that means regular service, regular worship, regular attention to the people of God called fellowship, regular reading of his word in awe. It's his love letter. So don't be surprised at the efforts of relationship building. That's what abiding is. So no one stays married passively. Poof, hey, we were married. Poof, we were married 40 years. No, there's a lot of little activities that go along with it. And similarly, no one abides in the Lord without the effort of relationship building. So here's my definition of abiding, which I think is how you please God today. Abiding is the continual, observable efforts of relationship building with God. Breaking those down: service, worship, attention to his people and fellowship, and awe before his word. Thanks for listening.